Gridiron Grinder! Hut hut hike!
Hey yo, it is Thursday, Gridiron Grinder time. I'm Ryan. With me as always is my buddy James. Just a couple of dudes hanging out tonight. We're watching Thursday night football while we do the show. And yeah, just talking about what's going on in the NFL each week. Uh for this episode, we're going to be giving you guys our week 12 power rankings and game picks. And so yeah, with all that being said, how's it going tonight there, James?
It's going all right. It's Thursday.
So what's this guy's name is Woody Marks? Am I right?
Ooh,
The
ooh,
running back for Houston, other than
I
Chubb, Woody Marks. Because
I
I,
don't
I I
fucking know.
I thought they called him Willie earlier, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought it was Woody Marks. But now I got the volume down so low I can't even hear him say it. So, because I got to hear you at the same time. So
That's a good question. I'm not certain.
that's all right. I added him briefly in fantasy football, but it was like week 2 or whatever. So I don't even remember. But anyhow, yeah,
Yeah,
it's going.
Houston. Yeah, it's Woody. It's Woody.
Okay, I think they called him Willie earlier by mistake because I heard him say it and I was like, wait a minute, what? No worries, no worries. We all make mistakes. We're all human, and yeah, I guess whenever you're ready, man, give me your 1 through 5 on the power rankings, bud.
All right. So a little bit of changes in my 1 through 5. One stayed the same. Colts, they were on a bye, didn't move them. Two, Rams moved up one spot. New England moved up to 3, moving them up 2 spots. Buffalo up 1 spot, and I moved Denver into number 5, moving them up 3 spots. I don't. The more I thought about it after I did this, I have concerns about Denver's offense. Defense is solid, but the
Yeah,
offense looks like shit half the time, and
yeah,
so
until
this
the
might be a
fourth quarter,
short-lived top
right?
5. Yeah, exactly. So it might
Yeah,
be a
it's not even
short-lived
half
top
the
5
time.
for them.
Yeah.
Short-lived top 5 for them, but they get the nod this week, and we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, and so I had Denver at 1, and they found a way to win again, and so I'm keeping them at 1. But I do think that this is like one of the least confident I've been about a team at 1, and so and then I've got the Colts at 2, the Eagles at 3, the Bills at 4. My top 4 did not move since last week. 5,
Who's
I've
he?
got the Rams. 5, I've got the Rams. I bumped them up 2 spots. Um, and I recognize, just like I called it out last week, that I am still probably the laggard with the Rams. You know, guys on NFL.com, ESPN, whatever, they've all got the Rams, either 1 or top 3. And I'm kind of slow to the party here, but at the same time, I'm trying to respect my board, and a lot of guys at the top of my board still keep kind of winning enough to stay at the top of the board. And so it just is what it is. But back to you at 6, my man.
All right, 6. I moved the Eagles up 3 spots. This is going to be very short-lived this week, for sure. But they beat the Lions, who I had at number 2. The,
Yeah.
the Eagles' offense looks like absolute trash. And I mean, so bad that was it 3 times the Lions stopped the tush push? 4 times maybe?
It's I don't know how many times they stopped it, but they didn't stop it a number of times though too. So
Well, those times were offside or were false starts and all penalties that should have been
cheating.
called. All
We did get the
cheating.
one we did get the one call that we weren't supposed to get where the guy hit our guy's hand,
Mhm.
right? Well, they were saying that our guy was in the neutral zone, and if you're lined up in the neutral zone, you're allowed to like try to get them out of there, right?
Yeah.
And they got called for it instead of us, but still, it didn't matter. At the end of the day, it didn't matter. So You know,
And then
we talked about, the Campbell gamble. He went for it one too many times, and it was a tight game.
well,
You know,
going for it one too many times. Like kicking was going to be an adventure. Going
mm,
a lot into that end zone, kicking was going to be an adventure because it's
yeah.
open. The wind that was going on.
Unless you were like 10-yard line, kicking a field goal was a risk. I get
Yeah.
that, man. But
Um,
so was passing.
7, I have the Bucks. I probably fucked up here by not moving the Bucks down by losing and putting them ahead of Detroit, even though
Yeah,
the
that's
Bucks just
okay.
lost to Detroit. Then I have the Lions at 8. I dropped them down 5 spots. Chargers at 9, dropped them down 5 spots. I called it the going in the weekend. Like I couldn't get past
Yeah,
it was like 30-0, and they fucking lost in the playoffs in Jacksonville. I couldn't get
yeah.
past that. And then Kansas City at 10, even though they lost, I didn't drop them because like they're kind of a little bit locked, but also they lost to Denver, who I moved into the top 5. So
And it came down to the wire. It's all
yeah,
right. I got you. Yeah, it's hard to we've talked about it for the whole year. Once you get down to a certain point on the board, you go from quality to mush to dog shit. And so
yeah.
it's kind of hard sometimes. But yeah, for me at 6, I've got the Chiefs. I dropped them down 1. 7, the Lions. I dropped them down 1. 8, the Patriots. I moved them up 3. 9, the Seahawks. I dropped them 1. And then 10, the Buccaneers. I dropped them 1. And in this range, I would say that my biggest hesitation here was the Lions. And you dropped them 5, so you had them a little higher than I did last week. I only dropped them 1. I thought about going lower, and I've listened to a lot of sports radio this past week, and I don't want to say that it's like swayed me, but there have been some very good points about like Dan Campbell making comments about like trying to play to the team's strengths and things like that, and people being curious as to like, well, what are the team's strengths, right? Because last year and the year before it was the offensive line. And so, playing to those strengths would be running the ball a lot and then play action and, your gadget wrinkles and whatever else. But now this year, the offensive line is grading out like significantly worse. They were horrible in week 1. It seemed like they got better in week 2. They looked really fucking good in week 3. And then we've kind of had like a mixed bag since then. And now, I think it's an overreaction because of the Philly game, and Philly has such a great defensive front, right? But I do think that to some degree it is valid to ask that because I don't I don't feel like we have a true identity of the Lions
Mhm.
this year. And if anything, it sounds crazy to say it, but the defense has been a lot better than they've been given credit for.
Mhm.
Definitely a lot better than advertised. But I don't know that you would call them our identity. And so I get what people are saying that it's kind of a question mark this year. It's not as obvious as it was the past 2 seasons. That's all I'm getting at.
No, and that makes complete sense.
But back to you at 11, my man. Now that I'm done rambling.
I didn't even hear you talk about the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Bucks, but 11, I have the Seahawks. I didn't move them. They lost to the Rams. It was a close game. Um, Green Bay, they barely beat the Giants. I'm not going to move them up. They both say the same. Pittsburgh moved up 1 spot. San Francisco moved up 1 spot. And Baltimore moved up 2 spots. This was more of a correction for me taking Washington out of the top 15 than
Okay.
really moving these teams up. They won, but they beat lesser teams, and in the case of Baltimore, there's a lot of questions with them. They barely beat Cleveland. They were down most of the game. The only reason they beat Cleveland is because for some reason this entire fucking time he's been there, Stefanski hasn't had Shedeur Sanders take any snaps with the number one,
Yeah.
and they didn't even know his fucking cadence.
Yeah, that's foolish, but I know that they buried him on the depth chart when they had Flacco, but now it's been a few weeks that Flacco's been gone, right? And so, what's the reasoning for it now? I don't know. Like, I mean, you had to be prepared that at any given point your starter could get hurt, right? And if he's now your number two, just stupid, right? Just stupid. All right, so yeah, for me at 11, I've got the Chargers. I dropped them one.
Oh, he's
from
hurt.
behind you.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. We're pausing because Josh Allen just broke his fucking collarbone, apparently. Or what, or his arm or something. I don't know. That he is not looking good here. So we're just gonna talk this out. Well, all right, now that he's down, I guess, and they're looking at him, I guess I'll finish by 11. Trubisky's like, wait a minute, I gotta fucking go in. Uh-oh. It's got to be maybe a shoulder thing?
It looked like a shoulder.
I mean, he came right down. It had to be a shoulder thing, right? Because you don't see any obvious break or anything like that. So
maybe it's just his little stinger or something. He's
okay.
He
So
seems
yeah,
like
he,
he's
he he
fine,
looks okay as he's walking off, but
but he
damn,
looks
he
like he's
looks
going
like
straight to the locker room.
okay. Because yeah, he looked like he was fucking hurt, man.
Yeah,
The way he was
he's
like kicking his feet and shit, like, oh, that doesn't look good.
he's just going to the bench. Okay.
Wow,
All right.
that's wild, man. That's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, all right. And so I will say this. On my board, I've got a couple of chunks where things just didn't move because there was kind of like board gridlock. And so despite a chunk of teams winning, there wasn't really anywhere for them to go. And then later on, despite a chunk of teams losing, there wasn't really anywhere for them to go. So at 11, the Chargers, they went down one, and then we get into some gridlock where I got Baltimore, Green Bay, Chicago, and Houston. And so despite those guys winning, they got locked on my board, man.
Uh,
And when you're ready, I guess back to you at 16. Sorry, I'm watching this. I know I'm a little bit behind you, but yeah, go ahead.
16, I have the Texans. I didn't move them. They barely beat fucking Tennessee. Should have killed them. 17, I have the Commanders. I dropped them for losing to Miami. Washington completely bailed Miami out that game. Like fucking McDaniel went for it, like a minute 44 left in the game, went for it on 4th and goal from the 4-yard line, tied game instead of kicking the field goal. Then fucking Washington gets into field goal position, misses the fucking field goal. And then like some shit happened in overtime where all Miami needed was a field goal. I don't even remember what happened in overtime. Like I think I like blacked out there, like furious on what happened to it, on how Washington could fucking let McDaniel out. Like, if Miami.
Do you think that, I don't mean to like go a tangent here in the middle of your 16 through 20, but do you think that the Washington, ownership group or whatever, operating partners, do you think that they could bounce out Dan Quinn with the way he's been coaching this year? I know that, Jane Daniels has been out a lot, right? But Dan Quinn
I couldn't hear your question. Internet blipped a little bit.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you think Dan Quinn is on the hot seat. This is a 180 from where they were last year. I know Jaden Daniels has been hurt a lot, but Dan Quinn has been coaching like a fucking idiot most of the year.
I don't know, because they seem patient there, but I would say it's a possibility, It's just like it's really, and I looked it up. They threw Washington threw an interception on like the first or second play of overtime, and then all Miami needed was the field goal. Like they completely bailed them out. There were fucking dumbass play calls on both sides of the game. If Miami lost to Washington, I guarantee you they would have just told McDaniel to find his own way home because he's not coming back with the team because they would have lost that
Yeah.
game specifically based on a decision he made.
Stay in Madrid, my man.
Yeah.
You've been expatriated or whatever. I don't know.
And then just run through because I just noticed we have less than 9 minutes left. Chicago up one spot, Jacksonville up one spot. Jacksonville kind of got blocked from moving up much further because a lot of teams in this range won. Carolina moved up one spot. They beat Atlanta. I told you something about Carolina
Yeah.
against Atlanta this
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, you had it. And I know Penix got hurt, and so Cousins,
Penix is out for the season too.
yeah, Penix is done. Yep. All right, so for me at 16, the gridlock continues. San Francisco, 17, Pittsburgh. Then at 18, I moved up Jacksonville 1. 19, I dropped Minnesota 1. 20, Carolina, and I'm back into gridlock from here on out, my man.
And so you want to take our 10 minute and then come back and I'll start us off with 21.
I'm showing we still got 7 minutes, man. You want to keep going?
Oh, seven. Okay. Now we keep going. Uh 21 Minnesota. I dropped them 3. And Minnesota was a better team with whoever the fuck was quarterback Wentz at quarterback than they are with McCarthy. McCarthy's not the real thing. They fucking should have signed Rodgers because instead of putting all their weight in McCarthy, I
Yeah,
would
but
just
do they just need to be patient with him? Because like we talked about earlier in the year, this is basically his rookie season, right? And so
yeah.
is it just a matter of giving him time to develop and expecting this to be part of the growing pains? Or is it, because to me I think the expectation was so high because they were so goddamn good with fucking Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't like JJ McCarthy. I'm just trying to like make the devil's advocate of, are we being too hard on him?
Maybe we might be. I might be being too hard on him. I just don't like him because he played for Michigan.
All right.
Arizona at 22, they didn't move. 23, Dallas, I moved them up 4 spots. Dallas is starting to get some momentum. We'll talk about their game with Philly this weekend in a little bit. 24, Miami, I moved them up 2 spots. This was more of an adjustment with 2 teams I had above Miami. And then 25, Tennessee, I didn't move them, even though they lost to Houston. It was a close game, and they kind of were blocked a little bit.
Gotcha. I don't know. I'm so down on Tennessee, but yeah, at 21 I got Washington, 22 Atlanta, 23 Arizona, 24 Dallas, 25 Miami. I'm gridlocked all the way through the end here, and most of these teams lost. Dallas and Miami did win, but I was not compelled to put them higher above the teams ahead of them because they beat teams that were either like right in this range. Like, the thing is like, Washington with a backup quarterback or like, Dallas beating the Raiders. It's like, I don't know, man. I just, it would have like taken a lot of things out of harmony if I started making those adjustments. And so I thought it's just a 1 week pause, basically. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
and I'll just run through because got a lot all the way down to the dumpster fire because everything after like 26, the Raiders, I dropped them 3. Jets, I dropped them 3. Um, Jets are in disarray. They
Oh
bench
yeah.
Fields now. Saints, they were on a bye, didn't move. Browns lost. Giants lost. Falcons lost. Bengals lost. All these teams were stayed in the same spot they were last week.
Gotcha. And yeah, and maybe, for you, Burrow coming back can pull him out of the dumpster fire a little bit. I don't know when he's officially going to play, but I heard it's coming. So for me, 26, I got the Jets. Then I got the Raiders, the Giants, the Bengals, the Saints, the Browns, and the Titans. And so, to me, the Titans are like the for sure bottom of the barrel team this year. They're just not like, I would put Cincinnati there, except that you've seen games where Cincinnati with Joe Flacco can light up the scoreboard. And so Cincinnati can at least do something. Tennessee has done nothing even close to anything offensively, but even defensively, they look like a shell of themselves from last year, which was one of the better defenses. And so,
Yeah.
you know, that's all I got to say about that.
So that's the power rankings. Looks like we update. Looks like Allen is okay. And look, I was for sure like his season was done after that, but looks he's playing and
Yeah,
seems
it
to be
was
fine.
weird.
So
You don't usually see guys on the ground like kicking and doing things like that unless it's like I broke something. But
what the fuck is
hey, I
Trubisky
guess
doing
good for
there?
him. He's like, hey, man, do I need to go in for this guy? What's going? Do I need to go in for this offensive lineman? I thought you said I had to go in, coach. Oh, yeah.
uh,
All right, we got 3 minutes left. I guess we can cut it here and take our 10.
all right, sounds good. Talk to you in
I'll
10.
yeah, catch you in a bit, man.
Sounds good.
We are back. James, my man, when you're ready, take us over to the game picks.
All right, so I'm going to start with the fact that I had a shitty week, so I didn't get much research done in there this week, like last week. Last week, I actually had one of my better weeks I've had this season. Too bad I fucking didn't gain any ground on you. We both got 10 picks right. 94 on the season for me, 57.32%, 117 on the season for you, or 71.34%. Motherfucker. All right.
Hey,
Tonight
don't
we're
hate the player, hate the game.
tonight we're both on the Bills. It's what 9-3 right now. We'll see.
Yeah, Houston is, you know, it, they've kind of got their backs on the wall, right? Like they just showed that even with a win, it's like a very
Yeah.
hard probability for them to get to the playoffs. And so they know they got to win. Buffalo, you've talked about it plenty of times. They play down to their opponents. And so, you know, if Buffalo was wanting to be a Super Bowl contender, they'd be up like 21-3 right now, but it's not the case. So,
Well, that's a clear face mask.
ooh.
First game up we have on the weekend is the New York Jets. I'm sorry, Tyrod Taylor led New York Jets.
Yes, Tyrod. I like Tyrod Taylor. I think it's garbage that they're benching Fields, kind of like making him a fall guy, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Hey, they got to do it because Aaron Glenn has to save his fucking job.
Yeah.
Um, at the Baltimore Ravens with the recently hobbled what's his face? What's the quarterback's name? Lamar.
Oh, Lamar Jackson. Oh, he's hobbled again.
Yeah, he showed up on the injury report this week. It doesn't look like he's on the final injury report. Something
Uh-oh, you're breaking up on
some
me.
ankles or something. Ankle it was. What exactly it was? I just remember hearing earlier.
An
I just
ankle
remember
thing?
hearing,
Gotcha.
yeah, ankle soreness.
Yeah,
The
we're both taking Baltimore.
Baltimore Ravens would have to start you at quarterback for me to pick the Jets to win this game.
Wow, you have that little faith in me, huh?
Well, compared to Lamar
Cooper
or
Rush.
Cooper Rush, yes.
Okay. Oh,
What the fuck was that?
dude, I liked that pass, but it's like the receiver didn't see it quick enough to make the adjustment, man. Oh,
He threw it right at the fucking at Hamilton, Damar Hamlin's back. Like,
what
just
what
threw it right at his head.
what I'm saying is, I felt like the receiver could have like dug his heels in quicker, and the defensive back might have went right by while he just barely got it. But whatever, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Anyways, next game up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Chicago Bears. I'm hearing and reading that Aaron Rodgers is going to be starting. And from what I remember, the owner of the Chicago Bears is still Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
All right, so I the last I read is that it's a safety issue about whether or not he plays with that left wrist. And so I didn't know for sure that he was playing, but regardless, I told you maybe 3-ish weeks ago, 4-ish weeks ago that Chicago was looking like a fucking dark horse. And now here they are sitting at the top of the fucking NFC North. They are a
Mm-hmm.
fucking they are a fucking dark horse. And the NFC North is like not to be taken lightly, in my opinion, which I think, based on how Pittsburgh's played and how the teams in the NFC North have played, I can see the Bears at home winning this game, which is why I'm taking Chicago.
It's a fair assessment. I just know that the Chicago Bears are owned by Aaron Rodgers. If Rodgers isn't playing, I may switch it.
Sure.
But
Oh, come on,
then
Dalton.
then we have the New England Patriots. What are they, 8-2 New England Patriots at the lowly Cincinnati Bengals?
I think they're 9-2, bud.
Yeah, I that
It's
sounds
nuts. I never would have thought 9-2 at the start of the season. And we both said, hey, we think that Vrabel is gonna have them outperform, but the roster was such dog shit that we thought it'd be like a hair above 500, not
yeah.
fucking 9-2. Like, holy shit.
And it still could end up a hair above 500 because they do only have 9 wins, but they'd have to
Yeah,
basically
they could
lose the
lose
rest
out,
of
right?
their yeah.
But they're not going to
Um,
lose out when they get
they're not going to lose
Cincinnati
out
this week.
exactly. They're going to go 10-2. They're going to start the season 10-2. Who would have fucking thought? Who would
Yeah,
have thought that?
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
I guess I guess 10-7 is just a hair above 500 too, but
Mm, fuck. Yeah, oh, if they finished 10-7, I'd probably cry. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, come on. Cincinnati, I get it, it's in Cincinnati, but they're not beating New England, man. And I know I just said this about Baltimore and Cleveland, and Baltimore gave them a run for their money, but I mean Cleveland gave them a run for their money, but Baltimore did still win last week, right? So,
Yeah.
oh, look at that, one way. Now back the other. Usually in the NFL that doesn't work, right? But he got close to the first down at least.
He got the first down, I think.
Okay. Normally when you cut it back after crossing half the field like that, it's done. The defense will get you, but wow, I'm surprised he was able to get that, man. Look at this.
See,
Look,
like right there is where
normally,
I
yeah.
turned over to the play. Like he was like halfway back across the field.
Okay.
So I didn't see it go the
Yeah.
one way.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, but yeah, we're both on the Pats.
And we have the Giants at the Lions. Isn't this like a stretch of like, oh no, because they played Dallas. I was gonna say I was thinking for some reason that they had like a bunch of fucking um, NFC East teams but they played Green Bay this week and then the next week they play Dallas to
Okay.
finish it out. So yeah, 3 out of 4 weeks they play the fucking NFC East. Giants. Jackson Dart is playing as a better team, but I'm hearing Dart's not playing.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have mattered if Dart was playing versus not playing against this Lions team. Lions are going to come up pissed off in this game, and I think they're probably going to boat race them 60-10.
I hope they do. And I'm obviously taking Detroit. I guess my thing is the Giants have played very compelling football all year. They've stayed in games all year, even though, in my opinion, they have been, out talented roster wise and out coached. But it's in Detroit. To me, it's like the Lions, despite what I was talking about earlier with their identity and what is their strength. I agree with you. This is a team that does get pissed off, and sometimes they win based on emotion. And so this could be a game where they just fucking skull fuck them, for a better way to put it. And I'm saying that knowing that YouTube's not going to like me saying that, but we're however many minutes in, and come on, we're down to like 2 views a week, so whatever.
Yeah. And we have the Vikings at the Packers. And I really want the Packers to go on a losing streak,
Yeah.
but it's gonna have to wait till next week to start the losing streak because they have the Vikings this week. And I talked about it. JJ McCarthy does not look ready, and I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's a good quarterback for the NFL. I think Justin Jefferson is quietly talking about being traded after the season
Oh,
because and I wouldn't blame him if he asked for a trade.
yeah. Wanting a quarterback, wanting a contender,
Yeah.
doing his thing. Yep.
So I mean, Green Bay is going to beat the shit out of Minnesota. It'll probably be a close game because it's a division game, but Green Bay's going to win.
Yeah, and Green Bay's been fairly suspect offensively lately. I guess what I would
Hmm.
say is that oh, there we go. We got a touchdown. Minnesota's defense last year, was a great compliment. They were a top defense, but the offense was doing something. This year, the defense is still really good, but they're showing that they're not capable of carrying the team all the way, right? And it's good that Aaron Jones is back and being productive, but JJ McCarthy's got to do at least a little bit more, or it doesn't matter. And so I'm taking Green Bay, who is still a very good all-around football team with a ton of talent on offense, even though they've been sputtering in recent weeks. You know that the potential is there on a more consistent, likely basis. And so I'm going Packers, and oh my gosh, did that extra point just totally fucking blank the Bills? Because now they're down by one. But yeah, back to you, my man.
Uh, then we have the Colts at the Chiefs. Like everything in this coming off of a loss to Denver tells me the Chiefs are going to win the game, but I think the Colts are just too good. And while I want the action to go against you and pick the Chiefs, I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, and so this game was close in terms of how I use my power rankings and try to like fudge it for home field. And so it's like right on the teetering point of where I could have went either way in this matchup, but I stuck with the Colts. Um, I think that they've had a little bit of adversity in recent weeks, and this is going to be a really good proxy for, can Daniel Jones get through that adversity and basically show that the first 5+ weeks of the year were more than just a fluke, and that this team can be for real with him at quarterback, which, I mean, I told you a couple weeks ago that he made me a believer, and hopefully he doesn't make me a fool now, but this would be a great test for that, man. So I'm going Indy.
All right. Then we have Seattle at the Titans. Ultimate game. They're coming off a loss to the Rams. Seattle Seattle Seattle's a legit team this year.
Yeah.
To much to I thought they'd be a legit team. You thought that they would take a step back
Yeah, I
with
wasn't
Darnold.
totally sold because fucking Darnold, man. I liked their defense. I thought their defense would take a step forward, but you're bringing in Darnold and you're taking away your top two wide receivers. JSN has obviously stepped up in an insane fucking way, but I didn't have the faith in Darnold. And what happened this past week when I started him in fantasy? Negative points. So, I guess that's what I get for saying that shit. But yeah, despite
All
all
right.
that, I'm taking Seattle, and it looks like you are too.
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle. If it was, might consider Tennessee at home winning a game, but I think Seattle. Sam Darnold's not going to have a four interception game back to back.
Again, yeah, not back to back. Yeah.
Maybe next week, but not this week.
Yeah, the next time I start him in fantasy.
Yeah. Then we have the Jaguars at the Cardinals. They're into the 405 window. Two really pathetic. Well, actually, Ironically, the Jaguars.
I don't know if
Um,
that's a 405 window. I didn't update the times. I just plugged in the teams.
I th- oh, you didn't update the times, you motherfucker.
Are you are
It's got
you
to be
effing
four
me,
or five.
dude? Hey, you can do some of that too, my man. I mean, based
Yeah,
on
it's a
how far it is down the schedule, it looks like that'd be a 4 o'clock game, but you never know.
well that and the fact that it's in Arizona. Arizona's an automatic 4 o'clock
Yeah.
game. But I just had to double check. It is the 405 window. Jaguars actually are looking decent.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they do look good most
oh,
weeks.
pick motherfucker. Oh, he's still going. Oh,
Bitches.
that they missed a penalty there. Nope, they called it. That's coming back.
All right. Either way, it's not going to hurt my feelings if Houston wins this game because I dislike Buffalo, and I like D'Amico Ryans, and I like Davis Mills, I like Nick Chubb, I like a lot of guys on Houston. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, blah 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 blah. Go ahead.
Blah blah blah. Jacksonville's going to win the game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Arizona, they're already, the press is all over. Is Gannon going to get fired? And you know, Jacoby Brissett looks great in that offense, but it's not translating to consistent wins. And so it may not even matter.
Yeah. Then we have the Browns at the Raiders. You know, I've heard Vegas asked the Raiders to move back to Oakland.
I did see a great picture of Pete Carroll on the sideline, but it was a picture of Joe Biden on the sideline. And I thought, oh shit. They were like, hey, who's this coach for the Raiders? And I was like, oh no, oh no. I still like Pete Carroll, but it's I think Pete Carroll is living in the reality of a garbage roster, whereas Mike Vrabel is living in the reality of you know, they did spend a ton of money in the offseason and they're having immediate results, plus Mike Vrabel being able to outcoach everything and Pete Carroll's dealing with the no, we're a dog shit roster and I can't outcoach how bad it is.
Yeah. So the thing with this game, and the Cleveland Browns have a legit defense, and the fact that they have a legit defense tells me that it's going to be a struggle for the Raiders to do anything.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm leaning towards Cleveland. I pulled up my old tracker or my playoff machine,
Man, you
and
can't have a
if you
pass
go
be for
by
-5 yards. But yeah, go ahead, sir.
if you go by offensive rank, the Raiders would win the game. If you go by defensive rank, defensive rank, the Browns would win the game. I'm just win percentage. The Browns would win the game.
Okay.
I think the Browns. I think the Browns win this game. I think it's a close game. It's like a 3-2 game, and I'm not kidding about 3-2.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
It's like as the NFL is
So,
asking why they put this at 425, which is a prime window for a big game, but
yeah, well, because of Vegas, right? Because it's in Vegas in their time zone. But
right, but they could have put it at 405 instead of 425 is what I'm saying.
I gotcha. And so, didn't, all right, by the way, I'm taking the Raiders because it's in Vegas and the way my board works and the home team and whatever, that's just kind of how it works. But this is Shadur is starting this week.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it a little bit unpredictable. Maybe in Cleveland's favor. Man, I don't know. I'm still taking the Raiders. I've picked them more times than I should have this year. But they've played a lot of garbage teams, and and I guess they keep losing, so I should probably give up on them. But I'm going to take them in this one, man.
Yeah, and the thing about Shador starting this game is for Shador to have any semblance of an NFL career, he has to have a fucking phenomenal game. If he struggles at all in this game against the lowly Raiders, they're going to mark him off as a bust. I
I
mean, he's
mean,
a fifth round bust, but
it's his first start. Come on. But I hear what you're saying. You know, it's under the microscope because of him being Shadur Sanders. But yeah,
that and how much he struggled last week. I mean, it
yeah, but
was
he came off the
oh,
bench, man. I don't know. I guess I'm more sympathetic to it because of the way the season has played out. And I don't know, man. But whatever. I'm not a Shadur Sanders fan. I'm just saying that I'm not frying the guy right now because I don't think he's been given a fair shake yet.
then we have all right. Then we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Philadelphia is obviously struggling offensively. These two teams played first week of the season. Yes, what's his face was ejected 6 seconds into the game.
Jalen Carter. Yeah.
Jalen Carter, thank you. I couldn't. I was thinking Abdul Carter, and
Very
I knew that
upsetting
was
for
wrong.
me. Yeah.
But Dallas's defense, they've gotten pieces in there, and their defense is actually looking decent. With Philadelphia's struggles and the fact that they're not going to win this game by scoring 13 points, they're going to have to win. They're going to have to score 40, 50, not 40, 50, yeah, probably 40 points to win this fucking game. And I don't
No.
think Philadelphia can do it. Also, in since Sirianni has been coach of the Eagles, Dak Prescott is 4-2 against the Eagles. Both losses were at Philadelphia.
Okay. And that's all fine, man. I just I think Philly's defense is on a tear right now, and Dallas's offense has not played a defense like Philly's defense. They just played the fucking Raiders, man. And it was a fucking weird shit show game. And I don't know. I do think that Dallas's offense has been better this year, balance wise, with how they've been running the ball, but I think Philly's defense is very fucking solid, and their offense will find a way because that's what Philly's been doing all year. It's not been pretty, but they've been finding a way to do it, and it's at home. I'm sorry, it's not at home, but I don't think it matters, man. It's what I did want to say, and I'm jumping around and I'm getting all fucking mind fucked here, but I wanted to go back. I was looking at the Raiders note that I had, which is so the Raiders did a fucking onside punt last week.
No, it was onside. Yes and no.
Yeah, can you
So
explain? I guess because what they safetied themselves or whatever.
no, they didn't safety themselves. They got a safety because Ashton Genty fucked around and danced in the end zone instead of getting it across the goal line first.
Wow, Ray Davis, see you later.
Yeah. Then then in the safety kick, instead of kicking it off a tee as an onside kick, they punted the ball as an onside kick.
So it wasn't a punt after a safety.
It was the punt after the safety.
I thought you
Or,
had to punt it after a safety.
no, you can kick it. Your choice. You can kick it off a tee, you can drop kick it, or you can punt it.
Okay, so I thought it had to be a punt. So thank you for explaining that. And then I guess the other thing to me was I thought because it was a punt, um, you by you touching it first, you're just downing it at that spot. I guess that was the thing is the videos I watched were that the Raiders could have gotten it like it was an onside kick,
Mm-hmm.
but they basically like circled the receiving guy instead of focusing on the ball. I didn't think you could get your own punt even if it was after a safety.
The way
Unless
I
they touched the ball first is what I'm saying. But the
the
thing is the video I saw was saying that it's like an onside kick where as long as it goes
yeah
10 yards you can recover it.
yeah, and in that is it can't it has to go more than 10 yards. Can't go more than 25 yards.
Okay, so it's a really weird rule.
Yeah,
So it's got to be within 10 to 25, but you can recover it.
yeah.
Wow. Man, it just seems like we would see more of that.
Well,
Like
but
late in games where you would like self safety to try and recover to go for a touchdown.
yeah, you would.
If you're down by, I don't know. I mean, it's
You're
like
down
if
by
you're
three
down,
or four, five.
yeah, it's like if you're down by four, you're like, okay, we're just going to self safety and go down by six and see if we can recover so we can get the ball to try and go for a touchdown.
Yeah, but also onside kicks are
But this is, but
so
what I'm
few of
saying
them
is,
are
but what
recovered.
I'm saying is the onside punt is something that we don't ever see. And like the thing is, they talked about with the Raiders, is that this guy had like over 5 seconds of hang time on this punt. And so if all it has to do is go at least 10 yards and you got 5 seconds to basically blast all your guys into that zone, you would think that that's like a 50-50 fucking chance.
Yeah, you would think. I hear what you're saying. I think where you would also have to be in a position to be able to give yourself a safety or self safety.
You could always just fucking run straight through the
You
back of the
could.
end zone.
You could, but I think also if more teams did it and they did it intentionally, the league
Yeah.
would change the rules.
All I'm saying is you expose a rule that's there that apparently nobody's using anyhow, but it has some kind of like merit to being exploited that we haven't seen yet. That's all I'm getting at is that up until last week I did not expect. Like I said, I thought if you had to punt after a safety, it was like normal punt rules. I didn't know that there was a way to onside that.
Yeah, I didn't know that really go until the I saw the Raiders doing it. Um, Also, the other thing, speaking of the kickoff, I think the kickoff rules are going to change this offseason
Okay.
because teams have found and they're exploiting, and the Lions did this twice, a loophole in the kickoff rules where if you kick it out of the end zone, they get the ball at the 35-yard line. If you kick it out of bounds, if like because there were a couple personal fouls that were enforced on the kickoff. If you kick it out of bounds, they get the ball at the 25-yard line.
That's weird.
Yeah, because of how like so like you have the 15-yard penalty, so you're kicking from like the 50 and you get the ball 25 yards from the spot of the kick if
Okay.
it goes out of
But
bounds.
only if there's a penalty that's enforced on
Yeah,
the kickoff.
exactly. Where versus if you kick it out, if it doesn't land in the landing zone and it's a
Sure.
touchback, they get it at the 35. I thought that was an interesting um, quirk in the rule
Yeah.
that's been exposed now multiple times that they might look at changing.
So it's got to be ironed out. Yep, I agree.
Anyways, we digress to the other. Wow, there's only one good game in the 4 o'clock window. Last 4 o'clock window, Atlanta at New Orleans.
No, I know you don't want to pick Atlanta, but you're doing it, and I'm taking Atlanta. It's a very unpredictable game. Um, divisional game. New Orleans sucks. Atlanta's just a little bit better.
So, and it's not a knock on Cousins. I'm not meaning this as a knock on Cousins, I should say. But when lately, the last few times we've seen Cousins play, he is a shell of his former self.
Well, he's got nothing to play for. He's playing to stay healthy.
Yeah, and I just
Damn, that fucking Nico Collins play, man.
wow, that was actually
Just like, you want to blast me? Whatever. I'm like 6'5".
right, but he blasted him and he missed, but he caught his left hand back behind to trip him up.
I'm just saying Nico Collins is a fucking beast.
If Atlanta was playing a team that was mediocre more than dog shit, I might pick Atlanta to lose this game.
Yeah. We just got the
But
Saints so low.
yeah, the Saints are just so fucking terrible this year that I can't pick them to win.
Yeah.
And you're on Atlanta as well. So
Hotlanta.
that goes to the Sunday night game, the Bucks at the Rams.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, the Rams are on a heater. I was kind of surprised to see you pick the Bucks here.
So that was on my first instinct, and since then I've kind of gone into it a little
You
bit.
flipping? Because I'll flip you. I got no problem flipping you.
Like I'm torn on it. Like the Rams have been on a heater, but
I
it
mean,
feels
I like Baker and the Bucks. I just the Rams defense has been insane, and we know that their offense can be a top 10 unit week in and week out. And so it just, to me, it's just hard to take the Bucks on the road with how hot the Rams have been for me. And I've got the Rams obviously higher on my board, as do you. And so I try to respect the board, right?
yeah. I'm gonna flip it back to
Let's flip it.
back to
Yeah.
the Rams. Like it was that like I said based on just first instinct looking at the match, the game, and who I thought could win the game. But I don't think you're right. The Rams have been on such a heater.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep you on even ground here because, it just seems like your board would have dictated that too, right? So,
Yeah, I just I like I said, I did it. I was just scrolling down. Okay, this I think this team's gonna win. I think this
yeah,
team's gonna
and
win.
sometimes you have like some weird, inside angle where you're like, well, Tampa Bay fucking 12-2 against some weird thing, and it's like, Well, I can't argue that, but
Yeah,
unless you
Baker
got like
Baker.
some inside angle, I don't want to, and I'm not pushing you either way. It's your pick. I'm just saying.
So Baker is 2-3 against the Rams.
Okay,
Um,
so that just supports you
I'm
flipping to
sorry.
the Rams.
I'm sorry. Baker is 0-1 against the Rams. He was 2-3 in 5 games with the Rams.
Okay,
It was
so
he
he was
hasn't played
beating himself when he was with the Rams.
right, but the only time he played the Rams was 2019 when he
Okay,
was in Cleveland still. And that was a shit Cleveland team too. But I can't. I like you said, Rams are too much here. Then we have the Panthers at the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Ooh, touchdown. Panthers at the 49ers. Like I said, like last week, like I just had like an inkling that the Panthers would do good against the Falcons. I don't think they're going to do good against San Francisco. Um, I'm going to go with San Francisco.
I got you, man. And yeah, San Francisco's hobbled like crazy, without a doubt. But and honestly, Carolina's been better than I've expected this year, and I've gone against them one too many times. But the game's in San Francisco, and so I just can't hold myself to do it, even though I'm tempted. I have San Francisco higher on my board, and it's in San Francisco. If it was in Carolina, I would say they're close enough now that I would flip this game, but I can't do it based off of how it is.
Oh, I thought he missed that.
It did
Um,
look like you missed that, yeah.
then we have Thanksgiving. We have 4 games. Uh, Packers Lions. Lions win.
Lions,
I just noticed we had 4 minutes. Kansas City, Dallas, Chiefs win.
Chiefs,
Cincinnati, Baltimore, Baltimore wins.
same.
The Bears, Eagles gave me pause. I think the Bears have a shot to keep this game close, but I think the Eagles come out and win the game, especially off of the loss to Dallas that they're going to have this week. I think the Eagles are going to play Thursday Thursday night pissed off.
I could see Philly winning this week against Dallas, and then, oh, what do you know? We're going to lose to Chicago. Why? Because we'd rather play Chicago than Detroit in the playoffs. But that's just me being, some skeptical, crazy person. In this game, I'm picking Philly, and it doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. All right, so that's the picks for this week. Any
yeah.
final thoughts on them?
No, I think this past week was a nice little bounce back for you. You keep it rolling, you'll kind of close that gap a little bit, even though you didn't make up much ground. It just, at least it's better than where you've been, is all I'm saying. I'm just giving you some positive encouragement.
Yeah, no. Last week I was able to spend a little bit of time. This week I didn't have a work computer, so I couldn't spend my breaks researching because I don't want to fucking do my research on my phone.
Sure. I got you, my man. All right. Well, I think we're good to go. I'll shut it down here and I'll talk to you in a bit, homie.
All right, cool. Talk to you in a bit.
Gridiron Grinder. Hut, hut, hike.